When the sun sets and the moon rises, after surviving the struggles of the day, the average person shuts off, disconnects from our physical reality, and steps into a new realm. A realm that is fueled by pure emotion and sometimes fear. Your cerebral spinal fluid starts pumping. The brain starts backing up information that you acquired during the day. You're falling deeper and deeper. And in that last moment, your motor neurons are turned off. You're paralyzed. Yeah, now you're living the dream.
We have been doing this since we were born, taking trips into this dream space, this other realm. The average person is supposed to sleep 8 hours a day. Emphasis on the word supposed. Most people sleep much less than 8 hours a day. I definitely sleep less than 8 hours a day. The point is that we spend a third of our lifetime sleeping. If I make it to 75, I will have slept just about 25 years of my life. 25 years in this disconnect, this dream space, this other realm. I shared my shadow people experience earlier here on the channel. If you want to check that out, I will leave a link to that video here. To this day, scientists are not clear why we need sleep at all. It's obvious that not sleeping has a negative effect on a person's well-being. Not sleeping can cause hallucinations, psychosis, and sometimes even can lead to death, in the sense that you kind of become a monotonous zombie. Scientists have ideas and theories on why we sleep, but at the moment, none of those are completely solid. So for me, seeing as sleep currently seems to be a Pandora's box of possibilities, I don't see how they can classify sleep paralysis as a sleeping disorder. Now, of course, like I've said in many other videos, I am no scientist. I am not a doctor. I am just giving you my personal opinion on this topic. Now, for those of you that don't know, sleep paralysis actually occurs when somebody's passing through wakefulness and sleep. It's almost like you're asleep and awake. You're right in the middle. Now, some of the symptoms of sleep paralysis, right in the name, you've got one. Paralysis. You are paralyzed. You also feel a weight on your chest. Some people claim to hear ringing in the ears. But the most interesting thing about sleep paralysis is this common idea of terror. In almost all the cases that people encounter this, they're usually terrified. Now, looking into our human history, there are signs of sleep paralysis affecting people throughout different time periods in different parts of the world. Now, in a more paranormal aspect, sleep paralysis has been associated to night demons, large black cats with red eyes, the hag, which is basically like a old witch. Now, I guess you'd say a more new age entity that sleep paralysis is currently associated to are the shadow beings or these shadow people. Now, my encounter with these entities, or whatever you would like to call them, hallucinations maybe, happened when I was a lot younger, and it was just, a certain period of my life. Now, something that I found interesting when looking into these cases was it seemed like people were waking up after their shadow being encounter, and that never happened to me. I was literally awake the whole time. I mean, I was not like feeling like I was awake and then I would wake back up in my bed. I was awake and it was terrifying. There were points where I actually, after a long period of seeing these things, I started approaching these things without fear, sort of I thought it was all in my imagination. So yeah, just something to think about if you do hear my story. I will share a link here so you can check it out. But one thing is for sure, the descriptions I heard of shadow beings and shadow people correlate 100% with what I saw. The ringing in the ears, the sort of vibrating around the room kind of thing, 100% just like what I saw. One of these beings that fascinates me is the Hat Man. And it seems like he is like a higher rank shadow being. And the weird thing is that he has a hat on. He has a fedora on and a large coat in most cases. Some people claim to see red eyes. What everyone seems to describe is that he seems to have some sort of rank on these shadow people. Like he seems to be the more intense being or powerful being. Some people think that the Hat Man is actually Satan himself. Now, I don't believe in demons or Satan. Maybe a otherworldly, interdimensional being. I could grasp that, but Satan, I'm not sure. So I really wanted to talk about sleep paralysis today because it seems like sleep paralysis is used often to discredit experiencers' encounters with alien abduction, ghosts, and even shadow beings. I also feel like we should take the dream world or sleep a lot more seriously than we do. For us, it's just a common everyday thing. Like we've been doing it since we were born. We've been going to sleep. When we're tired, we go to sleep. But we dream. We go somewhere. We have this whole, story that builds sometimes. And a lot of people experience astral projection in their dreams. They lucid dream. I personally always lucid dream. I always know I'm in a dream. It's hardly, I can't remember the last time I didn't know I was in a dream. It actually kind of ruins my dreams for me because I feel like normal in my dream. Like I can't fly in my dreams because I feel like I'm just me right now in my dream. I don't make other decisions that I wouldn't normally make because it's still my consciousness, my same conscience is in that dream. Now, the shadow being is also something that it really freaked me out when I heard other people's stories. Because when this happened to me, I was a little kid. The internet was barely accessible. I did not use the internet enough or know how to use it to even know about shadow people or shadow beings and this idea. So it's something that just naturally occurred. It's like if our human consciousness hallucinates the same thing when we're in this strange state. Also, when looking into magic and manifestations and things like that, this is a straight case of a manifestation. Because if that being is something that you are hallucinating and bringing from the dream world, right? Just bear with me. I know it sounds crazy, but if it's something that you're bringing from the dream world into reality, like you're literally seeing a three-dimensional being in your room for, sometimes people see it for a longer period of time than you would think. It's not 5 seconds. They could see it for, 5 minutes. And what I would see they were like in my room, physically in my room, and if I could just ignore them and they would just stay there. I think the human consciousness is much more powerful than we think. So sleeping and dreaming definitely must be much more powerful than we even understand. You spend a third of your life dreaming, sleeping, disconnected. So how important is that? How real is that? You know what I'm saying? Because we think of it just like a fantasy, like just like some images that are popping into our mind, but we're completely paralyzed in this sort of other realm, other dimension that is being built off of our consciousness. And I don't know, it's an interesting idea to think about. Make sure to share your story down in the comments. I would love to hear it. Feel free to express yourself however you feel. Have you ever encountered the Hat Man? Maybe you've encountered some beings that I've never heard of. Make sure to share that as well down in the comments. Are our dreams more important than we think? I don't know. Till next time. Remember, the paranormal is normal.